all know that athletes at the top of their game take great care of themselves physically. But how do they take care of the mental load away from the game? Mental health continues to make headlines around the NHL this season. Players like Oliver Kylington returned to the Calgary Flames after missing 19 months, taking a personal leave of absence to care for himself. Connor Ingram, Arizona Coyotes starting goaltender, has posted a career-high save percentage just 3 years removed from having entered the NHL Player Assistance Program to confront his OCD. And even superstars like Nathan MacKinnon consult a sports psychologist ever since the 2018 season to stay at the top of his game. 2 Avs players have turned to the program this year to receive care. Val Nichushkin and memorably Sam Girard to treat severe anxiety and depression. It begs the question, what are the attitudes and conversations around mental health in the Avs locker room? I talked to Cale Makar, Nathan MacKinnon, and more to find out. Cale Makar had a lot to say about mental health. He made a point to share that he takes time to talk to someone away from the ice to take care of the mental load.
It's a loaded question. I could go on forever about that one. I think it's a lot on the individual. I think it's such an important thing. There's so many things outside of hockey that people don't always think about, and the game can be so hard on the ice that sometimes you need that extra leap. And for me, I definitely utilize sports psychologists or therapists and stuff like that. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I think it just helps kind of ease the mind in a sense, honestly. And I think it's just an added profile. People that can help, you're always looking for ways to improve. But for us as a team, I feel like there's so many guys in this room that a lot of guys trust each other. If anybody ever wanted to go to each other to talk about something, it's a very tight-knit group. So I don't think there's much of like a stigma around that mental health in our room. It's just these few things have happened now, but guys have taken that into their own hands and know that that's something that they have to do to get their mind right. So it shows a lot of individual growth in terms of that aspect, and it's awesome to have a guy like G. Obviously, he just came back and he's been awesome. Yeah, it's a deep topic to talk about, but that's kind of the basics, I'd say.
And how do you think having leaders like you and MacKinnon address it in that way has shaped the attitude around it in this room? Like, is it almost viewed as an extension of recovery and wellness the same way off-ice training is treated?
Yeah, I mean, I'd hope so. I think the one thing about playing here is, I mean, it can be hard at times. I think us as a leadership group and then the coaches and everybody down, we have high standards. And when you're put on those high standards, a lot of the time, some guys, you can get kind of closed in and you kind of just keep digging yourself into a hole. And if you're not really talking to anybody about that, that's kind of where it all goes south for you. So that kind of just goes back to reinforcing how important that side of the game is and just how much it's evolved over the years and people not wanting to talk now. It's such a crucial part in terms of just individuals' well-being. So for us, we'd like to push each other hard, but at the same time, that's a major aspect of it for sure.
According to Josh Manson, the Avs are a built-in family as a support system.
I don't know. I think, those are more private conversations at times. I know that G and I have talked, not really just mental health, but just talking, and opening up those lines of communication. And like I said, just making yourself available, knowing that line is there, that at any time you can talk to anybody. And, I want to be one of those people that's available at any time. If you're feeling a certain way, a guy can just pick up the phone and call, whatever it may be. Just knowing that's an option, I think, is extremely important.
The NHL PA announced a new program called First Line, meant to help players around the league with their mental health. It may be new, but it will come with tools to help players better recognize teammates in crisis. Logan O'Connor is the NHL PA rep for Colorado, and it's important to find out, what does the role entail and how does he keep his team up to date with the latest around the league?
So just keeping guys in the loop on, anything going on within the league. We have a once-a-year meeting as a team to sort of go over, revenue, next CBA, different talking points, Olympics, whatever it may be. And then there's always, little things that come up within the league to keep guys up to date with.
And how does that responsibility get assigned? Did you volunteer for that?
So I think Conf was our last rep. So obviously with him leaving, someone had to take over. And I don't know if it's assigned or told you're going to be the rep, but it was actually something I had no problem, stepping forward to do. I think it's interesting to learn the intricacies of the league and sort of be connected in that way, and keeps me a little busier too.
And a lot of the reason I'm asking is because the PA rolled out a new initiative this month called First Line that centers around mental health, and I didn't know if you heard about that program yet.
Yeah, no, it's a great program. I think nowadays the mental health is obviously being talked about more and more, and it's great that there's platforms for us to be able to do it with, and programs for guys to be able to go into, and a lot of guys are trying to do what they can to help one another's mental health. So I think anything we can do is huge as a program and a league to try and reinforce positive mental health and awareness and be there for one another.
And has it been brought to the group's attention too that this program is getting started?
Yeah, we're slowly, letting guys know about it. We have more meetings coming up to sort of really dig into it and what it's all about. We have a meeting when we're in Carolina with the doctor within the league to go over, what it looks like as a team and program, and making guys aware of, signs to look for in teammates when things are going bad or whatnot. So it's good that it's being promoted, and it's slowly just gonna, make more and more of an impact as it is heard about more.
And obviously it's a relevant conversation, not just for this team, but around the league. But what is your personal relationship to the team?
For sure. I think it's great that nowadays, there's platforms that make it more accessible to talk about. I think regardless of who you are, everyone deals with mental health in a different capacity. And, guys within our locker room, within the league, we're pro hockey players living out our dreams, but it doesn't come with its challenges and difficulties. And I think oftentimes, you look at us and think everything's perfect, whereas, a lot of guys are dealing with different situations with their families or their own mental well-being. And obviously the same goes for the general population, and mental health awareness is critical nowadays. So it's good to make it more of an open platform and make it easier for people to talk about it.
And the sense I get from talking to other guys around the room is that this is a very open room for those types of conversations. What has been your perspective from this season especially?
For sure. I mean, as a team, we often spend more time with one another than our own families during the season especially. So it's having each other's backs, looking out for one another. We know how everyone's doing on a day-to-day basis, try and get to know your teammates in different ways, and then you'll be able to know when things are going wrong. So it's good having these guys as a close-knit team. I think, the road trips, we often go to dinner and get to know one another on a more personal basis besides the business side of hockey, but we're very fortunate to have such a close locker room that looks after one another.
MacKinnon has led the charge when it comes to diet, recovery, and training. He's oftentimes been described as intense, but it's how he takes care of his whole self that is worth noting, including his mind too.
And here's the thing, he's always been the most dedicated guy off the ice since I've been here. Yeah, it started last year, I'd say. He's carried it through the summer. But what he's doing this year, he's really consistent with it. And again, I'm talking going from great to elite habits, or elite to like super elite habits off the ice. But he's found something with his desire to get better and his, just his drive and his education of his off-ice training. He's always looking for the edge, right? And he's found what clearly is working for him. Because, he just doesn't have many nights where he doesn't have his legs or energy. And if it is, it's probably my fault for playing him too much the night before.
MacKinnon said it's helped him to address impulsive reactions and better process the emotions that come with the job description.
We put so much time and effort into our bodies, and I find for me, I try to put just as much into it in my mind. I try to get off social media during the season, at least. Try to read a lot of books, and I have a sports psychologist I've been with for 8 years, and she's been great and helped me a lot. It's not really taught much as a young boy about your feelings and emotions, and obviously I have a lot of those, so it's good just to sort some things out in your own head, and it's really helped my performance and my life.
What are some of the biggest ways it has helped you?
I'm just trying to be mindful. I think just not having a quick reaction to things in life, and I guess that goes with everything. In hockey, obviously, if things aren't going well, usually thoughts don't help your situation in most anything you do. So I think that's a big thing, and just day to day, different things pop up every day. I feel like, you want to talk about, and it's been really helpful.
Perhaps what struck me the most was Johnathan Drouin's thoughts on the matter. He started with a very important reminder that athletes are people too.
It's open. We understand that we're all human. Yes, for some people, we just play hockey. We're kind of in the go of it, and they expect some stuff, but we're human. A lot of us have kids, families, friends, and I think it's okay now. I don't think 5-6 years ago it would have been okay to talk about it, or even go see someone and get some help or get some clearance on a lot of stuff that you're really clueless about. And for me, that was my biggest thing. I was so clueless about the help I could get and the little tools. And when you have anxiety or stuff like that, you have triggers that you don't control, and it's just your body controlling them. And if you don't really know how to react to them, you're just going to make it worse. So for me, it was definitely getting help was number one, but all the tools that I have now where, if something happens or something goes down where I'm not feeling where I could feel it, I just accept it now and go with it and have people to rely on.
And how do you think in hearing Makar and MacKinnon talk about has helped influence the attitude in this room, that it is an open
No, for sure.
conversation?
I don't think in this room anymore. I think everywhere in the NHL. I hope it is, but you definitely see the upside and the positive of talking to people and getting help and not being shy about something that's so little sometimes matters so much in your life that will linger on for weeks and months, and you want to attack it and make sure you understand what you're dealing. And obviously with G this year, it was nice to see him come back, and he looks healthy and he looks happy in his mind, and that's all you want to see when you come back and take a break.
Former Colorado Eagles head coach Greg Cronin, now head coach of the Anaheim Ducks, shared with me that the Eagles keep a sports psychologist on staff. It struck me that it was an available resource to the team, treated all the same like the rest of their wellness and recovery staff. I may never understand the pressures of being a professional athlete, but I understand the importance of being able to talk to somebody. We talk a lot about the Colorado Avalanche's culture, and it was really refreshing to learn that it's an open room and these conversations are happening. The conversation around the league about mental health will continue to be ongoing, but it's really great to hear that the leaders in that room lead the way in having these conversations, and there isn't a stigma attached to talking about these things that affect players away from the ice. There's a lot of proven leaders in that room. They might do things on the ice that makes them look superhuman, but they are still people with struggles behind the scenes that we might not ever know about. And it's really great to hear that inside that locker room is a built-in family and support system for them to lean on each other when they need it most.